So I saw Rise of Skywalker, the new Star Wars movie, the other night, and let me just say I loved it. It was amazing. Definitely the best of the sequel trilogy. Probably the best of. I mean, honestly, probably the top three Star Wars movies. I mean, the list goes: Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so not only was it just an incredible, I can't even call it a movie. You have to call it a film because it's just that, you know, just beautiful, artful, like well made. The cinematography, you know, and I have to say, some of the oh, look at these scores, they're criminal. I had a few issues with the film though, namely the some of the anti-Semitism. Like near the beginning of the movie, Poe Dameron and John Boyega come back to Yavin 4 or whatever that planet is, and Poe Dameron goes, somehow Palpatine has come back, and he's price gouging people on whatever that planet is on uh, merchandise for the film, and you kind of learn throughout the film that Palpatine is making like Rise of Skywalker action figures, but he's charging a premium for them, and they're not actually they're not releasing them to the public until the film is out. Uh, like I tried to go to the store and buy an action figure of my favorite character, Zori Bliss, my favorite character, my favorite Star Wars character, Zori Bliss. $25 for an action figure, outrageous. Uh, and I do blame that on the anti-Semitism. There were a couple other questions I had about the movie, namely why Daisy Ridley all of a sudden had a dog, just like I think it was some sort of like greyhound mix. I don't know, but she was like going around the whole movie with this dog, and I didn't even know there were dogs in Star Wars. I can't think of any dogs being in Star Wars. I mean, it'd make more sense if it was like a salacious crumb or like a crate dragon or something. But yeah, I don't remember any dogs being in Star Wars, so I thought that was an odd choice. But then again, they had like her do Force Heal and Force Scream and like Force Summon Undead and stuff in this movie. So I mean, they changed a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really expanding the Star Wars universe, so I do appreciate it. So I want to talk about one of my favorite lines in this film: "Wookiees stand out in a crowd." It's just such a beautiful line. It kind of like reflects on how Chewbacca over the past, you know, 11 movies has just kind of stood out as this non-human character. And in this movie, I finally feel like he's been accepted because there is that scene where he blows up, and then Rey uses Force summon Wookiee undead to bring him back, and he comes back and he's like, "Rrr," he does like Chewbacca sounds, and basically helps them like beat Darth Vader's grandson. Here, this is Darth Vader's grandson. Um, and I thought it was just a really touching moment where Chewbacca comes in, and Darth Vader's grandson is about to say like the F word or something, and Chewbacca comes in and just shoots him with his bowcaster. He uses the charge shot, so it's like one shot. And there's that big theme of the movie, no one's ever really gone. So I'm hoping that in the next Star Wars movie they bring back like Mace Windu. Like it'd be really cool if there was like a Mace Windu zombie, and he was like, and like he's fighting Rey, and Rey like slices his head off, but he just comes back because he's a freaking zombie. I think that'd be really cool and badass. And let me tell you, some of the laughs in this movie they just really got me hard. Like when the stormtroopers have jetpacks and they say they fly now, I just laughed so hard in the theater. I just couldn't contain myself. I actually had to ask the projectionist to pause the movie and then go out to the lobby and get a refill on my popcorn. So I was laughing so hard. I walked up to the counter and the popcorn guy was like, "Hey, you need more popcorn? What are you laughing so hard at?" And I was like, I'm seeing the new Star Wars and I just can't believe they fly now." And I was just laughing so hard. And I thought it was really cool how they reveal that Rey is Luke Skywalker's dad. Kind of like they reveal that she's actually Darth Vader. It doesn't really make any sense to me. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay. I guess I misunderstood the movie. Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. So, yeah, she's a natural pilot, just like other Skywalkers, is naturally strong in the Force, and Luke's lightsaber calls out to her in The Force Awakens. So she's Luke's daughter, and Palpatine's granddaughter. So I guess Palpatine is Luke's dad, but I thought Vader was Luke's dad. But I thought Palpatine was Vader's dad, and he impregnated Shmi Skywalker with like Force impregnate, which I don't know. I think in the next movie Rey should get in Force impregnate. But yeah, just an excellent movie overall. I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. I loved the cast. I loved Anthony Daniels as C3PO. I loved Billy D. Williams as somebody's grandpa. I loved Junius Suetamo as Chewbacca. I mean, he's great in all the movies Junius is. Mr. Suotamo. Like, I love him in Return of the Jedi. I think that's his best work, is when he plays Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi. And my favorite character, Dominal Gleason. Sorry, I didn't know how to pronounce the name. Who plays General Hux? Who, if you've seen the movie, you know that he's actually Rey's sister or brother. He's actually Rey's brother. And he goes, Rey, I'm your brother. And Rey goes, no, it can't be true. And he's like, yes, I'm actually not a bad guy. And he rips off his face to reveal Ray, R-A-Y, which is Ray, R-E-Y's brother in this movie. I think it was confusing that they gave him the same name, but I don't know. I can excuse that. So, overall, just a genuinely good movie. Definitely better than any of the prequels. God, the prequels are so bad. They're so awful. Have you seen the special effects in the prequels? So terrible. They're not even watchable. And then some of the lines horrible. I mean, the sequel trilogy has much better lines like um, "Let the past die." That was in the last movie where they just where instead of the past dying, it's just the enthusiasm that Star Wars fans had for this franchise, and all the other great lines like uh, it's time for the Jedi to end, which instead of the Jedi ending, it's just the fans' enthusiasm for the Star Wars franchise ended. But yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, my thoughts on this movie boiled down into just, my own thoughts. I would say it had great special effects, it was action packed, it was epic, must watch, powerful visuals, cringeworthy, overhyped, just stuff like that. I mean, I just loved this movie. I walked out of it and just crying, and I cried for like 4 days. I'm actually crying. Like, I have tears streaming out of my eyes right now. It's taking everything I can not for my voice, not for my voice to crack into tears. I'm just fighting back the tears because I'm so sad that um, Leia died under a blanket, which was really cool. I love how they did that because Leia and Luke and Han in the original trilogy, they do all this cool stuff and they fight for the freedom of the galaxy. And this trilogy comes out and they're just all dumb and old now and they suck and they all failed. And they all just die. Like the only one that's still alive is Lando. And like what did he even do other than like well I guess he blew up the second Death Star. Why was there a second Death Star? Why couldn't they have made like something else? Like Star Killer Base 1.5 or some shit. Yeah, anyway, just a great movie. Uh I I wasn't crying. I mean, I wasn't crying on the floor curled up. I was crying on my way out of the theater. And the like projectionist came out of the projection room like right as I was walking out of the theater, and she was like, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just saw the rise of Skywalker," and she just burst into tears because she saw it too. And we're actually dating now, and that's pretty cool. So we're going out to lunch next week, and we're going to talk about how much we hate how like what we hate about all the Star Wars movies because we actually only like one of them, and it's Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, that's it for my review of Rise of Skywalker. Definitely the best Star Wars movie from this year or from last year. Definitely the best Star Wars movie from 2019. But you know, it's just a great movie. I cried. So that's it for my review. Thanks.